as heard by some of the original colonists. You see, the colonists wanted to be free of British control, the land where they once lived themselves. The American Revolution, otherwise known as the Fight for Independence, or rather, the Revolutionary War, was a fight of a pure thirst for independence on the part of the colonists versus that of control from the King of England. Yet, how did this war begin? What were the causes and speculations that started the Revolutionary War? Would our nation be what it is today if the fight for independence had not taken place? Well, in order to find out, we need to back up a ways to the time of the French and Indian War.
The French and Indian War, also sometimes referred by the United States as the 7 Years' War, was a fight between Britain and France.
Hey, wait a minute. I thought you said this was called the French and Indian War. If that's the case, where are the Indians?
I want to know when this French and Indian War took place and why it was called the 7 Years' War.
Well, the French and Indian War actually lasted for 9 years, starting in 1754, with the main part of the fighting and conflict taking place during a 7-year span from 1756 through 1763. The 7 Years' War is what the United States called this particular part of the even bigger European mid-18th century war that involved many powers. Also, to answer your question regarding the Indians, well, they helped France fight the war against the British, including the British colonists.
Oh, we get it now.
Well, I still don't get it. What does the French and Indian War have to do with the Revolutionary War? You're really confusing me.
Yeah, like, dude, what even caused the French and Indian War? Like, why were Britain and France fighting?
I'd like to know that too. Where did the French and Indian War take place?
Let's see if I can explain this one. By 1750, the 13 colonies were well established and still controlled by England, which was part of Great Britain. The population of these colonies was getting overloaded and more land was needed. Because more land was needed, some colonists tried to move west over the Appalachian Mountains into the Ohio River Valley.
Well, so far, that makes sense.
Yes, but France was in control of the Ohio River Valley and actually had set up trading posts, as many made a living by traveling first. Therefore, the French did not welcome British settlers.
Dude, so let's see if I have this right. The French and Indian War was a fight over land, specifically over the Ohio River Valley.
Okay, then I'm going to infer that the war took place over the Ohio River Valley, or better well said, the land west of the Appalachian Mountains. Correct! Oh! Ah!
Who won then?
Why don't you just Google it? After all, one of our 5th grade 21st century skills standards, 21.3 through 5.TL.3 to be exact, says utilize digital tools and resources to investigate real-world issues, answer questions, and solve problems.
Well, I would, but I don't have my Chromebook right now.
Well, I'm going to conclude that the British won because obviously France is not the Ohio River Valley today, now are they?
Now, this is a safe environment. People may speak their thoughts freely. As the First Amendment says, let's not be rude.
Actually, you are correct. The British did win the war in 1763 and took control of the land, but not without a cost.
Oh! Ah!
What do you mean, not without a cost?
A lot of lives were lost. In addition to that, the war cost a lot of money.
Dude, are you saying that Britain was broke?
Basically, yes, Britain was in need of a lot of money. At least rumor had it.
Rumor has it! Rumor has it!
Soon you will find that Britain doesn't have the colonists' love anymore.
Rumor has it! Rumor has it!
Yep, Britain's King George III was rolling in the deep.
Rolling in the deep. Rolling in the deep.
Can we please get back on track here?
Okay, so what I don't get is this. Shouldn't King George III be happy that the colonists had more room to roam?
Yeah, then they're going to be so crowded in the colonies.
This is where the
mountains into the sea.
Proclamation of what?
Dudes and dudettes. What is a proclamation?
Proclamation is an official announcement.
You see, the king made a formal announcement stating that the colonists were to remain on the east side of a line which was drawn on a map. This line went on top of the Appalachian Mountains and stretched from New York down to Georgia. This formal announcement was called the Proclamation of 1763.
Are you saying that the colonists could not go into the Ohio River Valley or west of the Appalachian Mountains?
Yes, that's what we're saying!
Man, like, oh man, dude, that's just not fair.
But why?
The king thought it would be easier to control the colonists if they stayed on the east side of the mountain.
I bet this made the colonists mad.
You got that right.
Why could they just shake it off?
Shake, 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 shake it off. Shake it off.
They couldn't just shake it off. After all, they had fought for that land west of the line, and now they couldn't go there or use it. Wouldn't you be angry at the king too?
What did the colonists do?
The colonists grew very angry, so the king sent British soldiers over to the colonies to enforce the proclamation to make sure the colonists did what they were told.
It's all about the king, about the king.
Well, that just isn't fair for those who fought so hard.
The second event that made the colonists angry was that the king thought the colonists should help pay for the war, so the king imposed new taxes upon the colonists.
Yikes!
The colonists felt that this was very unfair. In fact, they felt they already had paid for the war.
How?
With their blood!
The colonists were feeling rising pressure imposed upon them from the British Parliament. Between 1764 and 1775, things such as the Stamp Act, Sugar Act, and Townshend Acts took a toll on the colonists. Boston's Sam Adams and John Hancock, as well as Virginia's Patrick Henry, all spoke out against the new taxes. Some colonists joined a group that fought British control known as the Sons of Liberty. Even colonial women had their own groups known as the Daughters of Liberty. They wanted to show Britain that these American colonists could make it on their own without British goods.
Tell me more, did it all go alright? Tell me more, did they put up a fight? Women, we must bring our spinning wheels and gather in public places to spin our own wool so we can show Britain that we do not need their cloth. I agree. We also need to stop buying British tea and use our own herbs to make our own tea.
I'm totally up for women's lib. Hey, I wonder if that is where the term women's lib came from. Get it? Lib, liberty? I'm probably right. I'm always 99.999% right.
The Sons of Liberty formed their own rallies to give speeches and sing songs. In addition, they would give British tax collectors a bad time, dump British tea into the Boston Harbor, even set fire to a house belonging to a British customs officer.
Oh my! Men, we'll disguise ourselves as Mohawk Indians and board the ship at night. We will dump crates of tea overboard to show those red coats that we don't need their tea. We shall call this the Boston Tea Party. Yeah, let's show them good!
Although there were those who wanted to break free of Britain's rules and support America's cause for independence, otherwise known as patriots, there were those who also remained true to King George III and were still supporters of Britain. These obedient British followers were known as loyalists, as they were still loyal to the king.
Tempers began to flare by the spring of 1775. As Britain had now sent over many soldiers to America, the colonists could not stand the presence of these fancy soldiers dressed in red coats and shiny black boots. Even though the soldiers were there to calm the colonists, it really just stirred them up.
These red coats are constantly everywhere.
began to build up militias, which were just your average American colonists who agreed to take the role of a soldier if needed. In the colony of Massachusetts, the militias were extremely active. They earned themselves the name Minutemen, as they were ready to fight in a minute's notice. They could often be seen plowing the ground or out farming while wearing a weapon on their backs in case they had to move on a moment's notice.
Be safe, dear. I know you are just going to the fields, but I know that you may have to leave without telling me goodbye should fighting break out.
I will, my love, I will.
Then it happened.
Dun, dun, dun!
What happened?
The shot heard around the world. April 19, 1775, the fighting began as British troops left Boston and headed 20 miles away to the town of Concord.
Let me see. That would be like walking from Pocahontas to Pomeroy in a little over halfway back.
Dude, like, on foot? Like, why did they call it cab?
Well, I have to explain everything. They didn't have cabs.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was just testing you out, like...
Well, I'm just sharing that.
Okay, remember the First Amendment. Freedom of speech. Let's just cool a bit and continue on.
As I was saying, the British troops were headed to Concord to take all the weapons that belonged to the Massachusetts militia. However, the militia was not about to let that happen.
Tell me more, did it all go alright? Tell me more, did they put up a fight? Men, we must hurry and head off the British. We can't let them seize our supplies.
The two sides met just east of Concord in a town called Lexington. The British and Americans faced one another as silence stood still. Then, out of nowhere, through the dawn's early morning air, a shot was heard.
It was not known whose weapon fired
or where it came from, but that famous first shot, known as the shot heard around the world. Yes, the revolution had begun.
What's a revolution?
A revolution is a sudden, complete change.
You say you want a revolution, well, you know.
One might think that after the first day of fighting, the Redcoats with their fancy equipment and fancy uniforms would have overcome the militia, but that was not the case. By the day's end, the Americans had suffered 50 deaths and 39 wounded. However, the British loss was much worse, with 73 fallen and 174 wounded.
By 1776, few loyalists remained, as they had shaken off their faithfulness to the king.
Shook it off.
I hope you all realize that shook is the past tense word of shake.
Enough already!
Well, you know that I'm right 99.999% of the time.
Part of what spread the word and motivation to all the colonists were the words of Thomas Paine, who had wrote a pamphlet known as Common Sense.
True power to govern comes only when people give that power to someone. Power does not belong to someone such as a king, simply because they are born into royalty.
Yes, American colonists were more than ready to break free from Britain. It was then that leaders of the colonies had asked Thomas Jefferson to write a document that would state reasons for the desire for the colonists to be free of Britain. This very important document was called the Declaration of Independence, which was signed on July 4th, 1776.
Oh,
I get it, like, I really get it. That's why we celebrate the 4th of July.
Way to go, Einstein. You had yourself a blue ribbon.
There were, of course, many advantages and disadvantages for both the American and British soldiers. Now that the Americans had claimed themselves as an independent nation, they had to fight a war with one of the largest powers, Great Britain.
F-I-G-H-T, fight, patriots, fight!
The general of the British was Charles Cornwallis.
Hear ye, we as British soldiers have many advantages. While we are better trained, we have plenty of resources. Yes, we have more ammunition, more soldiers, and more weapons.
The general of the Americans, or Continental
we have several things in our favor. Although the British have endless supplies, those supplies are not here. They are thousands of miles away in England. It takes months for them to receive more resources. Secondly, we've also adopted the Native American fighting style known as guerrilla warfare.
Gorilla what?
Guerrilla warfare, you know, in night attacks, sneaking up on the enemy. This fighting style is one from Swamp Fox, or better well said, Francis Marion, who used this fighting styles in the swamps of South Carolina. Now, in addition to our great leadership, fighting style, home territory, we are fighting for a cause. For our homes, our families, and for our beliefs. Those British soldiers have no emotion as strong as ours. It's just a job for them.
Do you really want to know what turned things around for us? Yes, the biggest break that we received actually came to us in 1778. Give me a break, give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Hold up, come on now. We are getting sidetracked again. Stay on task.
Oh, I'm waiting. Like, what was the big break?
I know.
What?
France.
Yes, Miss Know-It-all is correct. France decided to help the Americans fight in the war, mainly because they did not like having any of the British soldiers in North America.
Yes, France gave us troops, supplies, and even money.
By 1781, the the British were wearing down in the fall on October 19th. The British found themselves trapped and outnumbered way out on a peninsula.
What's a peninsula?
A peninsula is a body of land surrounded by three sides of water.
Oh, I get it. They could go anywhere. They were like, wow.
Oh, dude, I'm like becoming your biggest fan.
Yes, poor Charles Cornwallis found himself trapped on a peninsula in Chesapeake Bay.
Where?
That would be Chesapeake Bay in Yorktown, Virginia.
It's useless. We're trapped. We can't keep fighting.
Cornwallis surrendered. Yorktown was the last fighting place of the war. The next year was followed by talks of peace, and the Treaty of Paris was signed. The British finally acknowledged that the colonists were free and independent. There are many more interesting facts and interesting stories about the Revolutionary War, as well as important places, people, and things.
Like the Stamp Act and Stamp Act Congress. Or the Boston Massacre. The Committees of Correspondence.
The Boston Tea Party.
The intolerable act